Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of Wargame Review Institutions. This is episode number 3 of the Chronicles of Davus. In the last episode, Davus and his band of misfits rescued an elf, this guy right here, who was being attacked by a bunch of kobolds. So the elf brought him to a lady's house, a widow, who could give them food and supplies. So they got there and she agreed to give them 10 days worth of rations if they protected her house. So that night a huge band of 16 kobolds attacked her house. They were able to stop them and kill them all. So she's given them a map to a underground dungeon where she believes there is treasure. So they're on their way out now to the dungeon. Alright, they're going to move forward. And now they're going to do a wandering monster check. No wandering monster, so I decide to move again. On the maps, it said there'd be ruins halfway there, so here's the ruins they were looking for. Alright, so they've been ambushed. A whole band of pygmy orcs was waiting behind these walls for them. The pygmy orcs are going to see now if they get surprise on them. No, they rolled a 1 plus their, what's their dexterity here? Dexterity is 0 versus the party's passive perception. So no, they're though they ambushed them, they haven't actually truly got surprise on them. So we're going to roll for initiative now. Alright, so let's go over the initiative order now. I rolled it off camera. RB goes first, that's Rudolph Brown, that's him. JL goes, that's Jorg Lang, the guy with the shovel, the grave digger. Then Davus, our main character, and his trusty dog Maggie. And then the pygmy orcs will go, and then the elf scout. So RB is going to go, so he moves forward to here. And he rolls, he's got a +4. So he does a 13. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, it is, because that one's shieldless. So let's see how much damage he does. He does D8 plus 2, so 2 plus 2, 4 damage to that one. Alright, after RB, JL goes. So he's going to go here and attack this guy. That's a fumble, he misses. Then Davus will go, so he's going to go right to here and attack. He's got a +5. So 22, yeah, that hits, and he does 1d10 plus 3. So he does 10 damage, which will kill this pygmy orc. And then Maggie is up. She's got a pretty long range. She's got a speed of 50, so she can move 10 inches. She's attacking that one that RB was attacking. So that's a 19, so that's a hit. She's going to do D6 plus 1. So it does 6 damage, so the drummer here is dead. Alright, now it is time for the orcs. This orc will move here and attack Maggie. He's got a +4 with a scimitar. So that's a 17 that hits. And it does 8 damage to Maggie. Next one goes and moves over here and attacks Maggie. So that's a 6 plus 4, so that's a 10. I don't think, no, that's not good enough. Next one goes and attacks Maggie. 10, not good enough. This one moves all the way back here and gets advantage. That's a hit. Let's roll the other one just to see if there's a crit. No, they're... Alright, so they're both 21s. So they're going to do D6 plus 2 slashing to her. So 4 more damage to Maggie. She's down to 3. And this one here attacks Jorg Lang. 17, and yeah, that's a hit. So it does d6 plus 2 to him. So it does 8 damage to JL. He's down to 9 hit points. This one here is going to move around and hit him in the rear. That's going to be a hit. And just checking for a crit. No crit. Alright, so that's 5 damage to JL. He's down to 4. Next one goes. This one doesn't have advantage. And it's a 16 that hits. And does 5 damage to him. So JL, they're not trying to kill him, they're trying to knock him down. So he's down to 0 hit points and they've knocked him out. Alright, and these last two here are going to attack Davus. This one attacks. That's a miss. Standard bearer will run over here and try to attack. So 16, is that good enough? Yes, it is. So he does 8 damage to Davus. So Davus is down to 14 hit points. Alright, now the elf is going to go. He makes it to about here. And then he does a dash to get there. He's not able to attack, though, because he used his action for the dash. Alright, so a new turn order. So RB is going to go now. RB moves forward here and attacks that guy. So that's a 14. Is that good enough? No, it's not, because the pygmy has a shield. Alright, so after RB is JL, who's down, so then Davus is up. He's going to attack the standard bearer who doesn't have a shield. That's a hit. And he does 12 damage, so he kills the standard bearer. Now Maggie will go. She will attack this one right here. That's a crit. So 2d6 plus 1, 6, 12, 13. So that one's down. Now the orcs go. This one here is going to attack Maggie. And misses. This one will... Actually, he gets... he's got advantage, so he gets a second roll. That's going to be a hit. And does 6 damage to Maggie, so Maggie's knocked out. This one here is going to attack RB. Miss. And that one will go there to try and get advantage. They can move through enemy. They got basically the halfling ability. If the enemy's larger than them, they can move through them. Alright, so that's a hit. And he does 5 damage to RB, so RB is down to 19. Alright, this one here attacks Davus. That's going to be 11, not good enough. This one here will move in. That's a crit, so he does 2d6, 5, 10, 12 to Davus. So Davus is down to 2. Alright, this one moves here and gets advantage on him. And that's going to hit. I'm just checking if he gets a crit. Nope. So he does 4 damage, so he's not trying to kill Davus, he's just trying to knock him out. So Davus is knocked out. Alright, now the Elf Scout is up. The Elf Scout has 2 attacks. He's going to attack this one, attacking that one right there. That's a hit. And he's attacking with a spear, so he does d8 plus 2. So he does 4 damage. So I'll just put a dice by that orc to keep track of his hit points. Alright, he's got a second attack on him, so fumble, so he missed there. Alright, now that the elf is finished, we're back to the top of the order. So RB is up, and so he's going to attack that guy. And hits him. And with his pitchfork, he does a D8 plus 2 piercing. So he does 4 damage to that one. So I'll just put a little dice there. Alright, so JL can't go because he's knocked out. Davus is knocked out. Maggie is knocked out. So the orcs go now. This one here will attack RB. That's going to be a miss, but he's got advantage because the other guy is flanking him. So that's a hit. So he does 5 damage to RB, so RB is down to 14. And the one behind him attacks RB with advantage. That's going to be a hit, I believe. Yes. And let's just check if there's a crit. No crit. So 8 damage to RB. So RB is down to 6. And this one here is going to attack the elf. That's a hit. And he does 8 damage to the elf. The elf started with 16, so the elf is down to 8. Now these orcs over here, as a bonus action, they can dash. That's an ability pygmy orcs have. So there's this regular movement, and they use as a bonus to dash to the elf. And now he can do his regular attack. That's going to be a 15, so that's going to hit. And does 3 damage to the elf, so the elf's down to 5. Got another one over here who runs into the elf and attacks. That's a crit. So 2d6 plus 2, 2, 3, so he does 5 damage total. So the elf is down to 0 hit points. They've chosen to knock him out. They have plans for these guys. Alright, and we got 2 here that haven't gone yet, so this one's going to move over here and attack RB. Miss. This one will move and do his bonus action to get in here. So he's attacking RB. That's a crit. So 3, 5, 7 damage to RB. So RB's down now. Our heroes have all been knocked out, so I will show you what's awaiting them. Davus's party has been, I wouldn't say locked up, they're tied up inside a walled-in area here. Inside there's also a Sasquatch who's a prisoner and a Drow who's a prisoner. 2 of the orcs come up and grab the Drow and bring him to the guillotine and take his head off. And then they start eating his body, so it looks like they're going to eat one person a day. Party's getting nervous, so Davus decides to start talking to the Sasquatch because he looks really big and tough. And he says to him, he's like, "You look strong enough." He's like, we're just tied together with rope here. It looks like you could probably break our rope. The Sasquatch himself has... He's chained to the ground, but they tell him they believe if he can break their ropes and free them, they can probably unbolt the chain attached to them and sneak out and retrieve their weapons. The Sasquatch heartily agrees, so they wait until nightfall when the pygmy orcs have gone to sleep and they do their deed. The Sasquatch comes over here and starts breaking everyone's ropes, and afterwards they're able to remove the bolt holding the chain to his leg. So JL's pretty slick. So they send him out to get everyone's weapons, and he's able to do so and comes back and rearms everyone. So now they're going to roll to see if they have surprise on the orcs, because they're going to kill them all. Alright, so that's about a 13 verse. The pygmy orcs' passive perception is 10, so they've got surprise. So before the regular combat occurs, we're just going to do the surprise round now. So I'm going to let RB go first. He's going to attack that guy. Gets an 8 plus 2 is 12. The guy's laying on the ground, so he doesn't have the benefit of his shield yet. And in addition, since he's on the ground, he gets advantage versus him. So the 12 was good enough, actually, to get him. So he does just 3 damage, but better than nothing. Maggie's pissed. She runs out and helps RB. She likes RB. So she's got advantage on this orc now. So that's 12. He's still down. So the 12's going to hit. So she does d6 plus 1. She does 7, so this orc is dead. Alright. JL runs over here and attacks this one with a shovel. And but he's got advantage. So 6 plus 4, no, not good enough. He missed the guy laying on the ground. Davus comes out and goes after the same guy. He's going to get advantage on him because he's flanking. That's a hit. Just checking for a crit. Alright, so he does d10 plus 3. Just does 5 damage to him. Guy with the spear will run over here. He's got some reach with the spear and attacks that orc. He's got 2 attacks. That's a hit. So d8 plus 2 does 3 more damage. That's enough to kill the orc. Alright, and that's the end of his turn. So the Sasquatch is left now. The Sasquatch is going to come to the rescue. He moves over here, and he's going to attack that one. Actually, he just jumps out. He's been walled off in there and tied up too long. He needs to get out of there. So he's got 2 fist attacks, and he gets a plus 6. First one's a miss. Second one's a hit, and he does d8 plus 4 bludgeoning. He kills this one, 10 damage. Alright, we got anyone else who hasn't gone yet? No, so now I'll figure out the initiative order. So the initiative order is Maggie, then JL, then Davus, then the orcs, then the elf, and then RB. So Maggie's going to go first and turn and bite that one. She does not like these pygmy orcs. So that's going to be... That's a 14. That might not be good enough. Because he's still on the ground. He hasn't got up yet. So yeah, actually it is good enough. So when he's on the ground, I don't let him use their shield. So 3 damage to him. Alright, after Maggie, it's JL. He's going to attack this one. He's got flanking on him. He's got a plus 4 to hit. So that's a 15, which is going to hit. And then 19. Alright, so that's a hit. So does 5 damage. Alright, now Davus is up and he's going to attack the same guy with advantage. Hit. I'm checking for crit. No crit. Alright, so d10 plus 3. Kills him. Now the orcs go. This orc stands up and he attacks Maggie. That's going to be a 15. I think that's good enough. Or a 16 actually. Yeah, that's good enough. So he does 4 damage to Maggie. So she's down to 11. Alright, this orc here by Davus. Mess. Other orc moves in here and tries to get advantage on him, flanking. So that's a miss. Alright, both missed, and then this one here moves in and tries to hit Davus. That's going to be a hit. And d6 plus 2, so 4 damage to Davus. So he's down to 18. Now the elf goes. Elf jumps out. And he's attacking that one. Misses. Alright, so RB has to go. He's going to move in, around here and attack with advantage. That's going to be a 14, which isn't good enough. 23 is good enough. So d8 plus 2 piercing, so he does 10 damage, and this orc's no longer with us. Alright, the Sasquatch is up now. He's got a lot of movement. Let me check his card here. He's got a speed of 40, so he can go 8 inches. He's got a 10-foot reach, so he's within 2 inches of that. He's able to attack that one with 2 fist attacks. First one's going to hit. They both hit, so let me roll damage on them. I actually should have done it one at a time. Alright, first one does 6 damage. The second one does 8 damage, so that orc is down. And we go back to the top of the order. Maggie is up. So she can move about 10 inches. Can she make it over? Yeah, she can make it back there to attack this one with advantage. That's a 13, that's not good enough. Second one is good enough. That was a 15, that's just good enough. So d6 plus 1 on this guy. So it does 6 damage to him. Alright, then JL is up. He's got advantage on that. He's attacking with a shovel. That's a hit. Just checking for crit. And does a total of 6 damage, so this one's dead. Alright, after him is Davus, turns around and attacks this guy. That's not good enough. Alright, after that is the orc. The orc attacks Davus. That's going to be good enough, so he does 7 damage to Davus. Now the elf goes. He moves over here to attack the orc with his 2 attacks. That's not good enough. Not good enough. So then RB is up. So he's going to move there and then do a dash. So he can't attack this turn, but he's in position for next turn. And the Sasquatch goes, so he jumps over here and does his 2 fist attacks. That's a hit. That's a miss. So the fist attack was d8 plus 4. So he does 6 damage to it, so that one's still alive. Alright, so the top of the order, it's Maggie again. So she's going to move in there and attack. She hits, and that one's killed. Alright, so after this they search the body. Well, first they get 550 XP, and then they search the bodies and they get 300 gold. So they're going to do a long rest and then leave in the morning to try and get to the dungeon. Party decides it's going to keep moving. Let's do a wandering monster check, actually. No wandering monsters. So it moves to about there. Alright, they've moved forward, And they're starting to hear some kind of, way in the distance, some kind of like babbling. It's very odd. They've never heard speaking quite like it. Let's have Davus roll a perception check to see if he can figure out what it is. No, he rolled a 7. He's not sure what it is. It's very odd, though. He thinks he's never heard anything quite like it. So they're going to keep moving. So it was forward, 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 forward. And now they see what's going on. There's no surprise here whatsoever. They see him, he sees them, so I'm just going to roll for initiative. All right, the initiative order is Maggie, then the elf, then the Sasquatch, then RB, then the gibbering mouther, then JL, and then Davus. This thing is gibbering, so at the start of each of their turns, they have to do a DC 10 wisdom saving throw. Otherwise, they're going to have problems. If they fail they can't take reactions until the start of their next turn. They roll a d8 to determine what it does. On a 1 to 4, it does nothing. On a 5 to 6, it takes no action and uses all its movement to move in a random direction. On a 7 or 8, it must make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach, or does nothing if it can't make such an attack. So you don't want to fail this roll. So Maggie is first. So I think she's going to fail that. Yeah, she doesn't have much wisdom, so she fails that. And she rolls a d8 to see what happens. She gets a 2. She'll do nothing this turn, so I'll just leave that 2 there to remind me. Alright. Next is the elf. He's going to do a wisdom saving throw. He's good. So he gets to there. He's on aberrant ground. The ground in a 10-foot radius around the gibbering mouther is dough-like difficult terrain. Well, if he starts his turn in there, he'll have to do a strength check. So he's using his action as a dash to move into there. He doesn't have enough actions left to fight, but he's there. Now the Sasquatch goes. He's got to roll a wisdom check. He's good, which is surprising because there's been an argument made that Sasquatch are not the wisest of creatures, but I don't know if that's true. All right, so he moves there, and he's going to do 2 attacks. Let me find this card here. This one has an armor class 9, so the first one's a hit, and he does d8 plus 4 bludgeoning. So he does 7 damage. And his second attack, that's actually a miss. Alright. Now RB will go. Yeah, he's able to get there. So first he had to do his constitution, or his wisdom check, and he passed. He got a crit. So now he's going to attack with his pitchfork, and he gets a hit. And d8 plus 2 piercing, so that's 5 damage to the mouther. So now the gibbering mouther goes. It makes 1 bite attack, and if it can, it uses its biting spindle. So we'll figure out who he's attacking first. He's going to attack the elf first. There's a plus 2 to hit. So that's a 15. Yeah, that hits. It does 5d6 damage to him. Wow. So 4, 10, 12, 14, 16. Is that enough to take him down? Yeah, the elf is down to 0 hit points. So he's going to have to start doing death saves. Alright, and he's got a binding spittle. Alright, so he shoots it at these 2 guys. So each one has to do a DC 13 dexterity check to avoid being blinded next turn. Sasquatch is blinded. So's RB. Wow. Didn't expect that. Alright, JL is up. He needs to move into there and attack. Alright, he's attacking with the shovel. Come on, this is... they're not rolling well. So he misses, I don't know how. And then Davus is up. So he'll move over here and attack. That's a hit. And it does only 4 damage. I feel like I'm on candid camera here. This is ridiculous. Alright, so now Maggie is up. So she runs around here and attacks, but first she's got to do her wisdom check. She failed her wisdom check, actually. So she stays where she is and rolls a... Alright, it's going to do all its movement in a random direction. Let me do D8 for the random direction. So she can go 10 inches this way. Actually, no, she did not start within, she had to start within 20 feet, which is 4 inches. So no, she doesn't have to do the check. So she makes it to there and does 2 attacks. First hits, which does 6 damage. Second hits, which does 5 damage. Alright, now the elf, well, the elf's got to do a death save. Passes his first save. That's good for him. Sasquatch is blinded, so according to the book, when you're blinded, you can still attack, but you have disadvantage, so he's going to attack now. That's fail. Alright, so Sasquatch couldn't do anything. Now RB is up, so he's got to pass his wisdom check again, and he fails. So he's going to move in a random direction. He's going to move over here. Now the gibbering mouther will go. Alright, he's going to attack. Let's see, there's 4 guys there. He's going to attack Maggie. That's going to be a miss. Alright, he's done his binding spittle, so he's got to recharge. So he'll recharge on 5 or 6. So it has recharged, so he can do it. So he's going to shoot it over here at the Sasquatch again. And the Sasquatch fails his dexterity check, so he's blinded again. Oh, and Davus is there too. He's got to roll. Davus is fine. So now JL goes. He's going to attack with his shovel. And misses. This is ridiculous. Now Davus will go. Hits. Does 7 damage. Alright. And now it's back up to Maggie. She's got to do her wisdom check again. She fails, so let's see what happens. And she just stays where she is and does nothing. Elf has to do a death save, and he passes. Sasquatch is blinded, so he's going to roll with disadvantage. He misses. Now RB is going to go. He's not within 20 feet, so he doesn't have to do the check. So he's going to move in there and attack with his pitchfork. And rolls a 1. This is ridiculous. Now the gibbering mouther goes again, and he's going to attack. He's going to attack JL. And hits. So that's 5d6. 4, 5, 7, 10, 12. Is that enough to knock him down? No, he's got 5 left. And he's going to see if his binding spittle is recharged. Of course it did. So he shoots it here again. Sasquatch will roll. Sasquatch is blinded again. Davus will roll. He passes. Alright, so we're at the top again. Maggie's going to bite him. That's good enough. We're going to roll Maggie's damage now. She does 4 damage to him. So after her, it's the elf who's just laying there with 1 hit point since he's stable. So now the Sasquatch will attempt to go. He's blinded. So he's rolling with disadvantage. Well, yeah. Alright, now RB is up. Let's see if he passes his wisdom saving throw. No, he fails. This is ridiculous. 6. This is not good. Actually, I rolled the wrong dice there. I was supposed to roll a d8. Let's try that again. So he gets a 1. He does nothing. Now the gibbering mouther goes again. He's going to attack the Sasquatch and hits. Jesus. So he does 3, 5, 7, 10, 12 damage to the Sasquatch. Alright, let's see if his spittle recharges. It recharged again. This is ridiculous. Alright, so he shoots it at the Sasquatch again. The Sasquatch passes, and Davus passes. That's at least good news. Alright, so now Maggie is up. And she's got advantage actually. So she rolls again. So she hits and does 5 damage. Alright, Sasquatch will go. First one attack is a hit. And he gets d8 plus 4 bludgeoning. So he does 9 damage, so he kills the gibbering mouther. Alright, so the party gets 450 XP there, and they're able to revive the elf. They don't find any treasure in the gibbering mouther, but on the floor here they see the trap door that's leading to the dungeon. Next episode, they're going to go in there in the dungeon and look for some treasure. Have a good evening.